Alone in the Dark is the 2005 Uwe Boll movie whose mashup of Aliens, Evil Dead, and Oliver Twist changed the game. The opening scene is a full minute and a half scrolling text that acts as a test for the audience. If you make it the entire 90 seconds, then congratulations, you f***ing failed. Your punishment is more of this abomination. This lady is a nun who runs an orphanage. He's a scientist who wants to experiment on the orphans.
At 10 p.m., you call the police and you tell them the children have disappeared.
Luckily, she's looking out for the kids.
The children are my responsibility.
You're just gonna have to look somewhere else, you crazy old.
I went to check on the children. Their beds were empty.
Never mind. F those kids. So she files a fake report, but she wasn't expecting such incredible police work that almost blew the scandal wide open when not only does the sheriff park wherever the f he wants, but they don't waste any time searching idiotic places. Damn, I really thought all 20 kids were behind that bush. They're not standing right in front of the house either? Well then, f it, I'm out of ideas. Now we get to the star of the movie, Christian Slater. He's a
paranormal investigator,
which means
I hunt and track down the strange and unusual.
While that might sound stupid, it also really is.
So maybe you're thinking I'm an asshole.
He's suddenly attacked by this guy who has superhuman abilities. Luckily, so does Slater. So, how are they able to do that? Who the f knows? The movie never tells us, and we never see anything like that again from anyone in the entire movie. This poor man's Tara Reid, who also happens to be played by the actual Tara Reid, is Slater's girlfriend and a scientist.
The app kind of use constellations to pinpoint a geographical location.
Yeah, I know. By sheer coincidence, she's the assistant to Dr. Hudgens, who's the mad scientist from earlier.
Dr. Hudgens, when did you get back?
Oh, a few hours ago.
Anyways, Dr. Hudgens locates a sunken chest containing an alien ripoff. It's covered in gold.
Is this made of solid gold?
Which we learn is one of their weaknesses, and I'm sure that knowledge will come in handy later.
They believed it held the power to contain evil spirits.
This guy tries to steal the gold.
You make a terrible mistake!
Which releases the alien. Thanks, asshole. You know what? The first 90% of this movie is pointless filler, so I'm just going to try and speed through it. All the orphans from the beginning turn into zombies. We never learn why. There's a paranormal government bureau known as the 713 that Slater used to work for. The creatures,
we call them Xenos,
die when exposed to sunlight.
They live almost exclusively in the dark. Sunlight is lethal.
Which is a pretty big f***ing weakness. So they make these light-containing bullets. You'd think drawing them into the sun would make a lot more sense, but no. Shooting them with f***ing Christmas lights is a far smarter choice.
I'm gonna need a lot of these.
The 713 can track Xenos by detecting
electromagnetics off the scale, Commander. I've never seen anything like it.
That's right. Just look at all those electromagnetics. Have you ever seen so many electromagnetics before? That explains why they seem to just show up whenever Slater and Reed are attacked. It doesn't explain why they always come crashing through the windows. The door is right there, you fucking assholes. Look, it's not even closed.
Scanner's clear.
Dr. Reed tries to sound smart,
The app kind of use constellations to pinpoint a geographical location.
and it's adorable.
The computer can plot a location. Edward.
Yeah.
I think the computer can pinpoint location.
She just said the same thing twice and was somehow surprised the second time she said it. The Xenos then attack Slater at his home. So of course the 713 shows up again through the fucking windows. And we get the dumbest shootout you will ever see. This guy is shooting a pillar that is right in front of him. Why? And what the fuck is this? Why are they shooting at each other?
What's the first rule they teach at 713, huh? Trust your instincts.
Really? That's the first rule they teach you?
I know you're infected. I'm taking you in.
Slater then saves his life with this expertly placed shot. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, they're best friends now, and they all go here.
Why are we going there? They shut it down 22 years ago after 6 miners were killed in an unexplained accident.
That's right, an accident 22 years ago, and now they're here today. I'm serious, that's the reason they give, and nobody questions it.
I don't know what I expected.
Slater somehow starts to believe
They're all coming here for a reason. Until we know what that is, we're not gonna be able to stop them.
neither of these things end up being true. From out of nowhere, Dr. Hudgens can now control the creatures and sends them to attack the base. A small group of them go into the mine, and this lady must be a total bitch because a creature comes out of the ground and everybody just watches it attack her. You assholes all pointed your guns at it and then did nothing. I honestly have no idea if she's dead or not. On one hand, she only got bit in the leg, but on the other, they tell us she's dead.
She's gone.
But then she starts to get up. You know what? F it. Back at the camp, everyone is dead but these two. Then they leave to go upstairs. Why? What the f is upstairs? Turns out, nothing, and they both die miserably. I have no idea why any of that was even in the movie. Who the f even are these people? Anyways, we now get this crazy revelation that this is where they implanted the orphans with those little centipede things. The writers must have forgotten that Slater ran away before any of the experiments, so this makes no fucking sense.
He implanted us with those things.
Then they come across this door, and Slater has to decide if he wants to open it or not.
This could be our only way out of here.
Some doors are meant to stay shut.
Oh, shut the f up. Before he can decide, this guy's head explodes, and it's that crazy Dr. Hudgens. Oh, you. Suddenly, everyone's now against the door opening.
Don't be insane. Don't open that door.
But I say f that. If she's against it,
Some doors are meant to stay shut.
I'm for it. So they kill Dr. Hudgens, but at least we get the door open. Well, now there's thousands of those Xenos all headed right for them. This guy plants a bomb, then realizes he's too far away. So he runs back to heroically sacrifice himself. While that's happening, Slater and Reed climb this ladder, and it's clearly the middle of the night. Then somehow, it's suddenly daytime. Which means him sacrificing himself was completely pointless. The sun would have killed all the Xenos anyways. But don't worry, because he didn't really sacrifice himself. He somehow survived that huge explosion and all that fire. So again, what the fuck was the point of any of that? In another crazy coincidence, the ladder just happens to be right next to the orphanage, and we find out the nun has committed suicide. We never find out why, but we also don't give a shit. The entire city is empty because it was evacuated. But by who? Everyone in the 713 is dead. And why are these cars abandoned in the middle of the street? Are we supposed to believe they exited their cars in order to evacuate on foot? Why? And seriously, an abandoned stroller? That is so fucked up. Now they tell us
the gate was closed again.
But who the fuck closed it? Then he says
the Abkhani people were wiped off the face of the earth, and now it looks like it's happening all over again.
Was the city evacuated, or was everyone killed? None of this makes any goddamn sense.
God damn it!
The movie somehow completely falls apart at the end, which is crazy because it was never coherent in the first place. Then it all ends with them getting attacked in the daytime, which they told us was impossible.
Sunlight is lethal.
If you don't believe that Alone in the Dark is the worst movie ever made, then
nice going, jackass.